had a pretty busy reading schedule this month. I had 2 buddy reads going on at the same time. I started a little challenge on my Instagram and Facebook, and I was determined to finish some books that had sequels coming out soon, or had a sequel already come out and I wanted to see if I wanted to continue the series, or I just really wanted to read them. So here are the 10 books that I read this month and whether or not I would recommend them. First up is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. We follow Maggie, who wakes up inside of one of her favorite books and has to figure out a way to save her favorite characters, but as she changes the plot, things change and she has to adapt really fast. The world building is massive, but it really sets you up for what I think is going to be an amazing series. This has the best found family that really feels earned, characters you'll truly care about, and some great scheming that will have you continuously flipping the page. I really enjoyed reading this. I couldn't put it down, and I definitely took my time with it because I didn't want it to end. So yes, I would absolutely recommend this one. Under the Oak Tree Volume 1. In this book, we're following Maxie, who gets married to a knight, but then he leaves her for like 3 years on a mission to fell a dragon. He later returns to get her, unimpressed that she remained at her father's house and not at his castle, and they build their relationship from there. I read this as part of my June reading challenge because I've neglected this book for a while on my TBR, so. The plot was this boring loop of her trying to figure out how to be the lady of the household, and she never really has any character arc. Her and Riften never actually communicate that much, so their relationship doesn't feel real. I would definitely not recommend this one. Next up, we have A Forbidden Alchemy. In this, we're following Nina and Patrick, 2 children who get sent to the capital along with the rest of the children when they hit age of 12 to see if they will be artisans or crafters. Nina's dream is to be an artisan. Patrick's was not. Patrick's mischief leads them to find out a very big secret that the bigwigs have been hiding from everyone. This ends up changing everything. Now there's a big war started by the crafters revolting against the artisans, and Patrick and Nina are in the center of it. This has been compared to Peaky Blinders, and after reading it, I definitely agree that it has the Peaky Blinders but with like magic vibe. This also has one of my favorite side characters of all time, like up there with the Knight and the Moth favorite. So would I recommend this one? Yes. Next is Dungeon Crawler Carl. The entire world basically implodes, and Carl was saved by his ex-girlfriend's cat. Then they're given the option to descend into a dungeon and play a game, which could lead to their death or lead to victory, or they can remain on the surface and try to figure it out on their own, but there's like nothing left. So they decide to descend into the dungeons. Carl stuck barefoot in his boxers with a perfectly sassy cat named Princess Donut. They end up being the best duo of all time. I read this one as one of my buddy reads, and both of us have no regrets. So this is a lit RPG, and it's absolutely hilarious. There were definitely some really great moments that I'll never forget, and it's my first time reading this genre, and I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, 0 regrets. I'm super excited to continue this series. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Got my friend to read this also, and it got her out of a reading slump, so. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom. In this, we're following An Ying, who is a well-trained warrior with a mission to go out to enter the immortality trials to save her mother. They live in a world that was ravaged by war when the Kingdom of Night invaded, and now their realm is riddled with demons. They've made it so far with some wards protecting their small village and some directly on their home to protect them. I struggled a little bit with this book because it felt slightly all over the place and also kind of dull. The stakes didn't really feel high at all until the end. Things started to like heat up a little bit, and then it died off faster than a flame with no kindling. I was pretty disappointed, and I feel like the writing wasn't quite my style, so it didn't agree with me. The book wasn't terrible, but I wasn't wowed. So would I recommend this? Probably not. City of Gods and Monsters. In this, we're following Lauren, a human who has a bounty on her head. Darian is one of the Darkslayers that had gotten her as a job, but when he realizes that she's an innocent human and also has multiple other groups hunting her down, he chooses, instead of bringing her to the buyer, he keeps her at his mansion where he can protect her, while he finds out who is trying to get to her, and they also try to rescue her friend who was taken instead of her. This book was pretty hyped up, and honestly I'm a little disappointed. I feel like it definitely underdelivered in every aspect. The characters felt a little bit one-dimensional, and the plot was kind of a boring loop, and things got sorted way too easily. Even as a vibes read, the vibes weren't fully there for me. I'm still unsure if I want to give the rest of the series a chance, considering that this felt very conclusive, so I don't understand where the series could be potentially going. It would be a whole new thing. So would I recommend this? I don't think so. Red Queen. In this, we're following Mare, a red who had happened to get herself in a little bit of trouble. She gets saved by a silver, which is elite compared to her lower class red, and her first day on her new job, a lot of shit happens. She finds herself having powers that she never knew she had, ends up unknowingly becoming a pawn in someone else's schemes. I really enjoyed this one, and I'm excited to continue the series. This is YA, but the characters are not immature. I really like the writing and the world building, and the plot definitely had me at the edge of my seat. So would I recommend this one? Absolutely. The Forest King's Daughter. In this, we have Zeru and Cassia, who were secretly friends as children, even though their parents would be super against it. Zeru ends up giving Cassia a ring from his mother's jewelry box, which he thought was worthless. Turns out the ring was important to everyone, and Cassia's father uses Cassia and the ring to fight a war that no one wants. She learns the truth about the ring. It wasn't meant for war, but for peace. And she slowly learns how to properly wield it, but the ring is like a part of her. She also learns the truth about her father and how to stop the war. I really expected an atmospheric fairy tale, but honestly, it didn't go that way. The writing felt extremely juvenile, and the dialogue was cringe. The characters were extremely boring. I feel like this book was also struggling to choose an audience. The romance between Zeru and Cassia didn't feel real, and the world building was lacking. And I saw reviews that a lot of people that enjoyed Ellie Blake's other book felt like this one was nothing like her other book and was just completely lacking. So would I recommend this one? No. Under the Oak Tree Volume 2. In this one, we're continuing to follow Maxie, a duke's unloved daughter who gets married off to a knight. In this book, the princess comes to visit their home, and Maxie is extremely jealous of her for no reason. Riften doesn't want the princess at all and constantly tells Maxie this. He doesn't flirt with the princess at all. I feel like the back of the book on this, like the synopsis, is definitely misleading about what the contents of the book are. It makes it seem like they're having a horrible marriage, which Riften's actually like super obsessed with her and constantly tells her this. But as a reader, they never really built their relationship, so it seems fake and forced, or just not real. Maybe not forced, yeah, just not real. But I guess like they're happy. The back of the book also makes it seem like the princess wants Riften and Maxie's basically fighting with her over him. But the princess never flirts with Riften and never makes any suggestion towards that at all. She befriends Maxie and shows her how to live a little, I guess, too. The book just ends up being a boring loop of Maxie's insecure thoughts. No character arcs once again, and not much else for plot. There's no relationship building still, and they've been together for a year now. Would I recommend this one? Definitely not. Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is the second book in the Emily Wilde series, where we follow a professor who is studying and writing about the Fae. In this one, she is making a map of the realms of the Fae, and Wendell, a Fae in hiding, who is also her co-worker, always seems to be getting her into more trouble because this time his evil stepmother is out for him. He's also still waiting for an answer to his proposal to Emily that he did in the previous book, ever so patiently. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm obsessed with this book, but it is enjoyable. I don't know what it is about the writing in this series, but sometimes I do find it a little bit more difficult to follow along and not lose track. But there are definitely moments that have me giggling or extremely anxious about what's going to happen next. So would I recommend this one? Maybe. I don't think this series is for everyone, but I definitely would recommend this to the right people that I think would be interested in something like this. So that is the 10 books that I read this month. I wasn't planning on getting through so many, but my June reading challenge definitely helped bump up my numbers. Looking forward to my next reads. Thanks for watching my video, and happy reading.